So along with these, we also have these to install today. Let's get started. I'm not a huge fan of Kuryakyn. Not a lot of stuff that they make catches my eye, but these did. Let's get these open and we'll get started. You can obviously see that I got my old ones mounted up here. Road rash from the road. These are from HR3. These are pretty affordable compared to some of the other brands out there. I'm sure these are from China, just like all the other brands are. You know, Advan Black and all that stuff. This was the first brand that I seen that made the standard bags in my color. Let's get these on and installed, and then we can install these. Once you get your old bags off, all you're gonna wanna do is transfer your old fasteners over to the new bags. Now these already have the rubbers installed. Come with keys. These came with liners as well. Now one thing that I used to do with these bags when I'm going down the highway is if I needed something, I just flop it open. These seem a little bit lighter than the Harley ones, so it may not be a feasible thing if these are flapping in the wind. These are a little over tight in my opinion. They should just flick open. They should go snap. I did want to say they match pretty good. I like them. Besides all the chrome on here, I think they're a good match, and I think it's gonna give the bike a great look. Once I'm able to get the replacement color matched ones for here, I'm probably gonna switch the locks over to the standard Harley ones so I don't have to carry a separate key. At the beginning I mentioned I'm gonna install the Kuryakyn tracer lights. But if you don't wanna throw that kind of money at lights, I also have some cheaper options for you that I'm gonna show you. Alright, so I got these mocked up. This one here is the Kuryakyn tracer, and this here is from Amazon. This is what I'm referring to as a LCA. This is a low-cost alternative. From what I've already seen, I kind of like the look of these better, but these are from Maintenanse, I believe. I'll put a link in the description. Again, I'm not speaking for the quality of these. I'm just, if you want a low-cost alternative, I don't know how long these are going to last, but they do work and they look good in my opinion. There are different ways to mount these. This has a cord coming out of this side where the tracers go right in the middle, and you actually have to modify your bag. You have to grind down part of the lip so the wire can run through. I'm going to turn this on right now and I'm going to show you both of these lights and how they work or what they look like. They both look pretty good. This one kind of fits with this style a little bit better. And you can see that this doesn't quite have the coverage that the tracer has. And the tracer is a diffused LED light, whereas these you can see the cobs on there. Alright, so I'm going to put the hazards on. And this is not a sequential light, but this one is. And that's kind of why I like these. These turn amber and are sequential. I do like the look of the tracers, but I also like the look of these, and I like the function of them. Now with the bike off and the flashers on, these are not flashing. That's interesting to me. Turn the power back on. And we go back to flashing. Alright, so in the instructions, it says you want to, because these will work on either side, like this side or this side, because they're the same fit, you need to determine which side is left and which side is right. Okay, so you don't want to mark these lights because you could actually use this one here on the left. That doesn't matter. What you want to do is you want to mark the connector at the back. That I'm just going to put a colored zip tie around it. That way I know that that side is for the right. So in the instructions, you can fit these up here, and you're going to want to mark where this wire needs to run through your bag. Where this wire runs through, there's a little edge here, maybe about 1/8 of an inch tall, that you're going to want to get that edge completely down so this can tuck in when the bag is closed. And the nice part about these is you can go, these are all the way up to the edge of that bag. There's that little ring there, it's kind of sitting against there. so you can install these without the bag lids down. All right, so we're gonna set this up here. All I'm gonna do is mark on each side of the wire. That way I know in between those marks, I need to grind that down or file that out. Nice square file makes a nice edge. Now we're just gonna test fit the light again and see if that wire will tuck down and hide underneath this lip right here. It's pretty close. I need to go a little bit further. I'm just about down to that inner edge where the seal sits. That'll tuck down in there nicely. It should never be hurt by the seal or this other lip here because of that. Here's a nice close-up look for you of that notch and where that wiring will sit. Now in the included parts bag, there will be some alcohol prep, some of the wire holders, as well as foam. Let's take the pad and clean the surface up where it's going to mount. Got to get all those filings and stuff off there and let that dry. Normally, I would prep these with a 3M adhesion promoter or a primer, but I don't have any right now, so I'm just going to do what they recommend and rub this red 3M covering to activate the adhesive. All right, this is going to be a one-shot deal. All right, so I know it touches here and it touches there. All right. We're just going to shut the lid. Make sure we're not interfering with anything. Look at that. Look at that nice tight. There's a uniform gap underneath here. All right, so now once we got this on, we're going to move on to running the wire inside the bags. Now there's 4 of these for each bag. So you're going to want to put them in strategic spots. Here you're going to want to pull this down so it stays nice and tucked. And then maybe 1 here around the curve, 3, maybe 4 around here to keep it tight. These pair with zip ties. So you'll run the zip tie through here, and then whichever way you have it running, the wire will run through and the zip tie will grab that wire and it cannot move. All right, so this isn't part of the installation. You can run them over that lip. What I'm gonna do, because of where it comes out, I wanna hide it underneath the covers. So I'm just gonna drill a hole right here. I have grommets that I'm gonna use. So I want to take a 3/8 bit. This is about as close as I could find. This is 23/64, I believe. It's kind of nice that this drill bit is dull, so it's not just quickly eating through and then pulling the drill bit in. What I'll do to finish this up is I'll just take a nice round file and just clean that up. All right, so I put one here on the corner to help keep this nice and tight. One here to keep it tight around this shock bump out here. One here. After it goes through the grommet, comes around the frame here. I don't know if you can see that. So back behind this part of the frame, runs up here and tucks underneath the side cover. That's the connector for this light. All right, so beyond having to modify this bag, if you have an accessory like this, I can't even remember what the name of it's called. It's a tray in here. This sits up in here. You need to make a provision for that cable in there as well. Not only that, but I had to modify how far this lip stuck out. So I needed to make sure that that cable would get past. That's one thing to look out for when you're putting these back. Make sure you got your accessories on hand so you can make sure that your wire fits also. All right, that's it for the install on these. Let's take a look at how these look, and we'll quick turn the bike on and show you what they look like lit up with both of them on the bags. All right, there we have it. Honestly, guys, this camera is not even doing it justice. These are silly bright. All right, guys, like I said, that's it for this one. Remember, at VTWINKIE, we build it to ride.